Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a short video how to capture all three of the Galarian legendary birds within Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Crown Tundra DLC. But before we get into it, if you would kindly hit that like button, leave a comment down below telling me which is your favorite legendary bird, and also if you could hit that subscribe button, press the little bell, turn notifications to all. That will be massively helping out my channel, and I will be extremely appreciative if you want to do that. The reason why I'm doing this is that I see so many people asking how to capture these all over the internet, on forums, Reddit, and even some people have been tweeting me. You can follow me on Twitter, by the way, link is in the video description, asking me what's the best and easiest way to capture these three Pokemon, because they can be a little bit tricky. But before we capture them, we have to find them. So, how to capture Galarian Moltres. So Galarian Moltres goes to the Isle of Armor. Now when you go to the Isle of Armor, you want to fly to the Challenge Beach, and when you land you'll be outside of the big tower that you fought Kubfu and evolved him into Urshifu. And here is where we're going to take a little trip down the water. I'm going to leave the footage to play here, I'm going to speed it up a little bit, but this is the way you need to go to have a good chance of capturing Moltres quickly. Now once you arrive at this little beach, there is a raid battle kind of like node where you walk up to it. You can stand there and Moltres will always pass this area when he's flying his route. Now he will always fly this same route, but if you spawn into Challenge Tower and go this way, a lot of the times he will be there at the same time as you are. If you miss him or he isn't there, he will go around his whole route and come back. For me it was about 5 minutes until he came back. When you see him and you see him flying in, you want to save your game, because obviously if you don't capture him, you want to just be able to back out, reload the game and reload into this area where Moltres is flying at you. So Galarian Moltres is a dark flying type, so you want to fight with a fairy type because it's going to do less damage to a fairy type, and you'll be able to fight through and be able to get his health down to 1 or her health down to 1 to be able to capture. Zacian on Pokemon Sword is a really good choice here because he just is a beast and a tank, as well as being fairy type. I also had a level 100 hacked Charizard, which I only use for capturing Pokemon because it has full swipe, so I get it easily down to 1 HP. But any high level Pokemon with full swipe will also do the same thing here and get the Pokemon down to 1 HP. And then you want something that can do Thunder Wave or paralyze enemies without really doing any damage. I used my Toxtricity. For me, at a level 80 Zacian, I went into this fight, I did 1 Sacred Sword and got the health down to pretty much nothing, and then just subbed in my Charizard, did full swipe I think a couple of times. Then I switched to Toxtricity and hit Moltres with Thunder Wave. Now I switched back to Zacian to take all that damage and just kept throwing Pokeballs. When a Pokemon is down to 1 HP and paralyzed, you will have a greater chance of capturing the Pokemon. So what I tend to do here with my 900 plus Ultra Balls is just keep throwing Ultra Balls. Now it's pretty much a steady stream of just constantly throwing Pokeballs with Moltres escaping until that one finally hits. But what I try to do is, if I haven't caught it within 20 Pokeballs, I then switch to using Timer Balls, because obviously the longer the match goes on, the more chance Timer Balls will capture the Pokemon. And that's it really for Moltres. Pretty straightforward. Make sure you have a fairy Pokemon, make sure you can Thunder Wave, and hopefully have someone with full swipe to get Moltres down to 1 HP. So how to capture Galarian Zapdos. Now Zapdos, or Zapdos, I'm going to call Zapdos. I think a lot of people say Zapdos, but I prefer Zapdos. Is in the wild area of the original game. So what you want to do is fly to the meeting spot, walk down a little bit, and you may see Zapdos standing there in the near distance. If he or she is not there, make sure to just fly back into the meeting spot and constantly fly back in over and over again until Zapdos appears. Now Zapdos is one of the more infuriating Pokemon to catch out of the three of them, because you know you can save it at the point where you see Zapdos, but as you're chasing Zapdos you're not going to have a chance to be able to save. And Zapdos is pretty fast, so what you want to do is just jump on your bike and follow Zapdos as closely as you can, because he will be fast, he will take off, but over time he will start to get more worn out, he'll start to sweat, sometimes he'll just stand still and look around confused. So when you finally catch up to Zapdos and engage in a fight, I led off with Gengar because Zapdos is now fighting flying. He does a lot of physical damage now, and Gengar is, not affected by a lot of the moves, specifically the Thunderous Kick move, which lowers your defense and does quite a bit of damage. Gengar just won't be affected by it. Gengar can also learn or know Hypnosis, which can put Zapdos to sleep, which, while I don't know whether it actually increases the chances of a capture rate, it's just there to keep Zapdos quiet while you're just throwing Pokeballs out. Now again, in this situation, I did one hit with Gengar, got the health down dramatically, and then just used my Charizard to full swipe him down or her down to 1 HP, switched back to Gengar, and then just threw Pokeballs again, doing Hypnosis, putting it to sleep, and throwing more and more Pokeballs. So I used Ultra Balls all the way through, and again, once I got to about 20 Ultra Balls, I switched to Timer Balls, and it took about 5 or 6 Timer Balls, and then I captured Zapdos. These are not easy Pokemon to catch, you have to use a lot of Pokeballs. But any kind of Ghost Pokemon here is going to be really useful, because a lot of the moves that Zapdos uses doesn't affect them, so just keep that in mind and try your best, and hopefully you'll get Zapdos a lot quicker than I did. So how to capture Galarian Articuno, probably the most frustrating out of the three, because if you mess up in any way, shape or form, Articuno will fly away and disappear, but it is very, very weird that you cannot get Articuno to spawn and do some sort of route like you can with the other two Pokemon. They've got a guaranteed route, they've got guaranteed spawn places. Articuno is a pain in the arse. It can spawn apparently by some graveyards, but this is the most common spot here, and you want to go to the Snow Slide Slope, which is the spawn just outside of one of the Giant Pokemon like tombs. So you spawn there and you want to follow the path that I'm showing you on screen right now. Now once you get to the top of the area, you'll hopefully see Articuno just sitting there. You want to save here because you can mess this up quite easily, and then Articuno will disappear. So if Articuno does disappear, you want to be able to just reload the save and get back into the fight. Now Articuno has kind of a tricky mechanic. It will split into 3 separate Articunos, do a little dance and swing around, and then they'll just sit there and wait for you to approach one of them. One of them is the real Articuno, the other 2 are fake. If you hit the fake ones, Articuno will fly away, and then there's going to be a struggle on getting him to respawn or her to respawn back in that same position. The way that you can tell which one is the real Articuno is that the 2 fake ones, their tails will be rotating at the same pace, at the same speed, in the same direction. They are identical in every single way. The real Articuno's tail goes in a very slightly different pattern to the other 2, but it can look almost identical with some of them. A lot of the times Articuno, the real one, looks obvious. You can see that that tail is out of sync with the other 2, but sometimes it is nearly identical and it's nearly impossible to tell. So if that happens, just reload your save and hope for a better tail mechanic to pop in for you the next time you go up to Articuno. So Articuno can be a bit of a pain, especially if it is hailing. If it is hailing, you may as well give up until a day when it's not hailing, because you can't get Articuno very easily, and hail will obviously take that 1 HP away and accidentally faint the Articuno. So if you could do it without hail, that's perfect. Now you want to lead with some kind of dart Pokemon. I chose Umbreon personally because I have a shiny one and I love it. And you want to hit it with a dart move, get the health down as much as you can, switch to your Pokemon with full swipe, take it down to 1 HP. Now, here is the thing about Articuno and why it's a little bit more difficult. You cannot realistically get Hypnosis onto Articuno to make it fall asleep and have enough time to really capture it with a Pokeball. So Hypnosis is just so inefficient, it's not really worth the trouble. Now Thunder Wave can hit Articuno, but it has a move called Psycho Shift, and what it does is it takes the paralyze off itself and gives it to your Pokemon, which if you're throwing Pokeballs at them, doesn't really matter if you get paralyzed, but you can never really consistently keep the Articuno paralyzed enough to be able to take advantage of that extra capture rate. So you are in for a long one here. The benefit here though is Umbreon is pretty much perfect for this fight. All of the moves are just useless against Umbreon apart from Hurricane, and Hurricane is used less often. It's got low PP and it's got low accuracy. So if you're unlucky, 4 of them are going to hit you, but if you've got a good enough Umbreon with special defense, it will tank all 4 of them. Most of the time it's going to miss, so you don't have to worry about it. So it's just a waiting game. It's a long ass game of throwing Pokeballs at Articuno until it gives up. So again, the tried and true method for me was just launch Ultra Balls over and over and over again, and I went to I think about 30 Pokeballs all in total, and then I switched to timer balls, and I think I got very lucky and got it on like my second timer ball. But that's how I was capturing all of these Pokemon, because you just got to sit there and throw Ultra Balls over and over again, hope that they don't kill you, and then get lucky with a capture. And that's it really. I just wanted to make this video to help anyone out there who's having some troubles. You know, you can see what helps you get, you know, your capture rate up by paralyzing a target. You can see what Pokemon are good against these 3 Galarian birds, and hopefully it will help you get those captures a little bit easier. If it does, let me know in the comment section if it worked for you, or if you know a better way to get them, please also let me know in the comment section. Hit the like button if this was a helpful video or you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here, hit that little bell, turn notifications on. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.